Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Chimpreneurship. This is a weekly Chimpers production which takes place every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So you can put that right into your calendars. We'll be hosting some of the most talented, most successful, and most entrepreneurial builders and leaders in the space every single week. This is the season finale, the final episode of season 2. We've got all kinds of cool stuff to give away. One POAP raffle to do for a Chimpers NFT and an extra raffle, which I don't know if you know about. I don't know if we announced that before, but there is an extra raffle. You're going to have to stay till the end to get involved in that one. Pretty excited about that. If you don't know already, my name is Bchek. I'm the host for the show today. I'm joined, of course, by the epic founding team of Chimpers, and we'll be speaking with them themselves today to reflect on how we've been going in season 2 and to get into all the details of what else is going on in the Chimpverse. So we have on the stage with us Sir Joey, the wise deal maker in charge of all monkey business at Chimpers, as well as real business too. And we have Insight, the most active and friendly community leader in Web3 and the most prolific DMer of all chimps. Before we get to the show though, we just want to shout out one more time our sponsor for season 2, SeedWorld. SeedWorld, created by Seedify Studios, represents a new era in the metaverse landscape. The platform will be fully centered around user-generated content, offering a unique blend of creative freedom and digital innovation. And we'll have more from SeedWorld in a little bit. Shout out to them for being our first sponsor of the Chimpreneurship show. So let's get into it. To our guests today, our founders. Insight, Joey, welcome to the stage, my friends. How are you doing? Are you ready again for some Chimpreneurship?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely enjoy every single episode and really stoked to be chimping it up today for the final show. And yeah, super excited.
Yeah, I love this one. I really, really look forward to the final one. I don't know if we'll always do this, where we'll always have like religiously loads and loads of guests, and then the final one with like some kind of roundup with the team, getting the prizes out, reflecting on everything we've done. But
it's been
nice. Joey, what do you think?
Yeah, it's been a great series again. Some fantastic guests. As I thought we couldn't outdo season 1, but yeah, you've pulled it off. Some really great, and fundamentally hearing, getting behind the scenes of some of these founders and projects, and really getting to understand their culture and what they're working on. And it's been fantastic to see. And yeah, really professionally run as usual by you, Bchek. So thanks very much.
Love it. The only addition, the one thing I would hold my hands up and say, which has been deeply unprofessional, is this background that I've got going on at the moment. I've had a few people comment, so much so that I went to an event in London at Sotheby's last week, and someone who I didn't even realize watches my show. In fact, he said, I don't watch your show, but I've still noticed that your background sucks. And I was like, man, I'm in the process of moving flat. Like, I'm clearing everything out. It's
so
going to be
means you've got no plushies.
Not
You've got
yet.
Space there. There's a lot of nice space.
I've ordered the Chimpers toy. I ordered the physical. I'm waiting. When it gets arrived, there's going to be space. But I'm moving out of this place, so that's why it's empty. But there will be like a new space for like to make it a bit more professional from that perspective too.
Okay.
Yeah, if it was up to me, I'd also chimpify everything here. have posters of chimpers and everything else, but maybe a special room one day.
Yeah.
So we're not so professional after all. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look, we're going to get into, this is the plan for today's show for people, because it's a slightly different show. It's not going to be completely the same as when we dive in entirely with one guest and solely focusing on that. But this is the guide for you to figure out what we've got planned for you today. We are going to like reflect with the Chimpers team on the various guests and some of the learnings that we've had from all the amazing conversations. Just as a reminder, we had Ben from Killer Bears, we had Austin from Doodles, Jarvis from Cool Cats, Levent from Seed World, Pappy from Quirkies, Charles from Nifty Island, David from Bossy Bears. So like all kinds of awesome conversations we've had from a real variety of people. We'll reflect on those learnings a little bit. And then we'll speak to the Chimpers team, Insight and Joey, for their own insights on like what's going on in the market at the moment, how they're feeling about it, the challenges they've faced. and how they're kind of pushing through and what they're most excited about and what maybe is in store for you guys. And then we'll close it off with the raffles. So we've got some Chimpers NFTs to give away. As always, just like we did at the end of season 1, we will do the same at the end of season 2. And I don't know, Inside, have you told people what the second giveaway will be?
For the arcade machine, yes.
Oh, okay. So
So
people didn't know that. Okay.
we did. We announced on Discord that we
Very cool.
were raffling that off. So yeah,
And for
a lot
people
of chimps ready.
for people who don't know, this is the arcade machine that was in the Paris event, which I was at, and it was an awesome event, awesome arcade machine. So you guys are giving that away.
Yeah, we are. We're actually revamping it as well. So before it's being sent out, it's going to be uploaded with all of the latest games plus extra additional ones. So yeah, it's getting primed and ready for the winner.
That's pretty awesome. That's really, really cool. So we're going to be giving that away. Definitely stay tuned for that. 2 Chimpers NFTs giving away the arcade machine too. But just before we get into the conversation then, first, please do click the comment button in the right-hand corner and retweet the spaces so we can get as many people in here with us as possible to enjoy this conversation. So let's get into it, guys. We've obviously had a huge series so far, all really diverse and eclectic group of interesting people. Insight, maybe I'll start with you because we were like mostly involved in figuring out the guest list and making sure we had interesting people. We had Ben from Killer Bears, Austin from Doodles, Jarvis from Cool Cats, Levent from Seed World, Pappy from Quirkies, Charles from Nifty Island, David from Bossy Bears. Was there any particular conversations or learnings from these conversations that really like struck home for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think in each individual one, like I took away a key learning or just in general, enjoyed it. And just like taking it back as well, I always find it like unbelievable that we can connect to like builders like these people. Like the Web3 network is just unbelievably amazing that you can, hit up one of the project founders and they can jump on and like you say, some of the people that we have had on have, really esteemed builders, and even the last one with David Horvath, who, not necessarily a Web3 founder, but in terms of like the Web2 prestige and like his journey building brands, which is, what a lot of Web3 projects are also doing, is absolutely amazing. And it was a great, joy creating the guest list, and finding like each individual person that, relates to Chimpers in a way, and not necessarily people that like are completely random, but like all of the people that we reach out to are always someone that we know has some sort of like synergy or like understanding or similarity with us. And I think starting with Killer Bears, they were the first guest, and then like in a similar way to Chimpers, small collection, um, makes it a bit more difficult to amplify the noise and attention that like other communities can garner. And I think he spoke to that in that interview that you gave, and I thought that was interesting. And he mentioned that it was important for them to like have a tight knit community, and they're heads down, irrespective of the market, the attention, the metas, or the trends. They always are quite deeply rooted in the vision of what they're pursuing. And I thought just taking that away from that conversation was something that we at Chimpers feel very similar about. And he had a lot of great things to say.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. Joey, did you want to come in there?
No, I was just going to say I really enjoyed that because I knew a little about Killer Bears and Ben, but they've got a big gaming background. They've had some very successful games, and Killer Bears was a free mint that I'd forgotten about, and they've managed to coalesce a really strong community based on delivering quality experiences. And very much lore driven, similar to us. And but they're also very technical as well. They're very technically gifted, and now they're looking at moving over. Well, they have bridged their smaller collection, second collection, or one of them, to Solana.
Yeah.
And they're looking to build games on Solana phone. I don't know what the phone's called, but yeah, brilliant. And it's always great to hear, like I say, from a founder who, at the end of the day, we're all faced with the same challenge, and finding our way amongst the crazy world that we're in. And yeah, it was great. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's really interesting. One of the things I thought is there's a few things going on here. Like they're quite different projects. One of the things I really enjoyed was learning about a group of certain projects which I had like no idea about. But it's not just that you had no idea about from the Web3 verse, because similarly I didn't know as much about Killer Bears, and then you realize that there's like a really, really strong community behind it. And the thing about the media that's really important for other people to understand is we feel the engagement way more. So like when we run these shows, we know whose community are like really showing up and really supporting their founders, because we can see it. We can feel that engagement every single week, and we can compare it each time. And Killer Bears were particularly strong, I thought. But then, as you said, Insight, you had people like David Horvath, who are just like wildly experienced at building a lot of the things that I guess the Web3 people are like aspiring to build. So maybe he's coming with like all of that insight. I mean, what did you make of that conversation a little bit last week, and kind of diving into all of his previous experience before?
Yeah, no, it's funny you say that. Sometimes I'm itching to, say something, or I have something on my mind whilst I'm listening to these spaces. And David in particular is somebody that I have, like, although, he connected with Timpers early on, like he knew him since the Nouns days in 21. He's someone that I've been following. I actually subscribe to his Substack, and he just has so many golden nuggets, and he's been through this for like over 20 years and
That's crazy.
developing brands, and from the grassroots up into the mega stage. And I think just some of the insights and learnings that he has and details in his Substack about the way that people are building, and character brands in particular, I thought was super interesting. And
Have you guys taken anything from, like, I mean, you must be reading that Substack, all kinds of knowledge there. Like, have you been applying any of that kind of those learnings to how you decided to build out Chimpers in any way?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's different in terms of, like, David very much advocates for specialty and avoiding the noise, and
Interesting.
kind of taking the grassroots approach, avoiding marketing and becoming a brand that
Okay.
people can fall in love with through the physical world. And tribes that will find you in places of meaning, like you mentioned on the spaces, and
Yeah.
discovering them, which is a knock-on effect for when they go down another road and see you in another specialty store, and you have a fan there that will follow you. And I think it kind of contrasts a little bit with we're on the social media side, where really pursuing the content and the virality of these platforms like Instagram and TikTok. But a big part of like building the brand as well with Chimpers is that physical aspect. And I think David has a lot of great ways of doing that, and he actually connected us with someone as well recently to pursue those sorts of things. So again, like being able to connect with these people and learning from them is such a hidden gem. And just the importance of Web3, like helping each other out and connecting with all of these builders. And yeah, really loved that space.
It's definitely been an inspiration to you. I know Jacob, he's always talking about David, and yeah, and we have been, well, you have been talking to them recently, haven't you, Jacob?
Yeah, that's fascinating. I've got a follow-up question maybe for Joey related to that, but just from a comment on Twitter, Insight Whale has been watching in and says, "Didn't know NFT Insight is this handsome. WTF?"
Oh wow, whale! What a compliment. Yeah, I think it's because I shaved my mustache. Maybe
Okay,
it's
so
growing back a little bit.
You're even
Yeah,
more handsome with your mustache. So
yeah. Well, I don't know.
you'd see what
I'm
Will
sure
prefers.
Will. Yeah, maybe see what he prefers. Yeah, what a compliment. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and for the next finale, we'll go Insight mustache and
did he
see.
not say
Yeah,
anything
it
about?
doesn't. Yeah.
Did he not say anything about me?
Uh, I'm looking, Joey. I can't see that comment yet. Maybe it's in one of the lower ones.
Yeah,
Okay.
mine doesn't grow that too quickly, unfortunately. So we'll have to see for the next series. How many weeks is it? We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll
I
find
don't
out.
know.
Um,
Yeah.
Getting back to it, Joey, Insight was speaking about, the different because of the conversation with David. And David, one of the things he was speaking about a lot was like the physical experience. So important to maybe transport people away from their normal lives and make them feel something, some type of experience, some type of feeling when they walk into a shop, a pop-up, whatever. And I was trying to tease out, like, well, so what's the difference in Web3 when we're so digitally native now and trying to create digital experiences? To what extent does that impact your strategy when we're all online so much and often far away from each other, and often we'll never see each other IRL, although there are certain occasions obviously where we do come together? Like, how does that affect your guys thinking when you're thinking of world building digitally but also wanting to create some physical touch points?
Yeah, I mean, it's really important whether that is meeting up, with the in supporting small meetups and having physical things. We run Little Atlas, so we've got several hundred members on there, organising small meetups all over the world, and it could be a handful of people, but we always support that with bespoke merchandise where Timpers will make, a design for a t-shirt just for half a dozen people. So it can be as small as something like that is building that emotional engagement and physical touch point with the brand, to being involved in places like Paris and things like that, and bringing, like, the arcade machine. You take it from, we made 10 mini games. So the natural progression is then that were great. They were really successful and kept engagement. We had competitions throughout over 12 months, really. And then the next step is, well, let's put it in an arcade machine. And what you can do, as well as Jacob mentioned there, you can have an arcade machine now with our 10 games on, but also a pack of 4,000 retro OG games to make it, a proper product. So yeah, it's really important, and that's our big goal and step that we're making this year, to really take Chimper's amazing IP and bring it into the real world through physical products, and also physical products that link back to Web3 as well, and NFTs. So yeah.
I was just gonna
Interesting.
say, like, a quick, like, piggyback on that was just the fusion together of like physical and digital and Web3, is like the Nouns Deli activation that we've got planned for the April. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but the
Is that the one
Nouns,
in Australia?
yeah,
Yeah, I know it.
yeah, yeah. So they have organized a really cool takeover of their restaurant for the whole month of April. They're physical immersed there in Melbourne, Australia, and naturally people who have no idea about Web3 will be heading to that deli because they love the food. But there's then that touch point for them to be introduced to Chimpers with this amazingly crafted Chimpers packaging box, burger, and the chance to win prizes by grabbing a burger and also winning Timpers art. And I think that's really special, being able to do those sorts of things that builds that emotional attachment, expands the Chimpers' presence in IP, and also just reaching new audiences as well. And as small as it is, through such a menu of a burger item on a menu at the Nouns Deli, it's still quite powerful. So that kind of fusion of the physical and digital is definitely, as Joey said, something that we're really, passionate about bringing to life this year.
That is very, very cool. And very cool partnership to kind of reach out, to be able to reach out via nouns to people in physical locations that are completely like super far away from where you're accustomed to, and being able to reach completely different people, I guess. So that is very interesting. Thinking about that vision then of trying to take this amazing digital IP and take it to the real world via some physical products in 2024. Can you speak to that a little bit more, Joey? Like, what's the grand plan at the moment? We're in March so far, 2024. Like, how do you want to see that play out in the next few months? And then we'll get into like some of the challenges that you found in the market more recently.
Yeah, one of the things that we're building at the moment is a collectibles platform.
Okay.
And one of the mainstays of there will be trading cards, collectible trading cards, digital. So we've got, we released, I don't know if you saw the Arcade Dejan artwork that was 555 editions on Magic Eden. Mm-hmm. One of the benefits of that at the snapshot is that if you own that artwork, you'll get Timpers is creating a trading card set of 16 different cards, 555 total cards, so various edition sizes, and you'll get a free digital NFT trading card to mint. But also, not only that, you'll be able to claim a physical twin of that. And throughout the adventure, we're giving through Travis and Gruel's these amazing trading cards. So we'll be, because of Timpers art and also Chimpers being sort of an art-centric project where we've got lots of artists that we've been supporting through the Art Foundation since the beginning. The idea is that, in fact, we're working with Gruel's, one of the artists, to create, and Timpers and Gruel's are collabing together to create another trading card set at the moment. Okay. And the idea is that with guest artists, Timpers Art, collabing with Web3 brands, Web2 brands, we'll be bringing digital trading card sets out with physical twin, so going that way. But also, we aim to bring physical products out, and part of physical products will be potentially trading cards that bring you back. So you will then be able to scan a QR code and create a trading card. So it's really about collectability on that side and bridging digital to physical, but also physical to digital. And things like, just for example, we had adventure series. Well, one of the things is an adventure game, actual physical adventure game. And so trading cards from that would be the playable characters, but characters that you find around the board, in the environment, in the artwork. So we're very much, as you know, art and lore based, and it fits really well with us. So that's one thing that we're doing at the moment. We're really excited about.
That's really, really cool. I've just got a comment on YouTube. I don't know if you can answer this specifically, but I do know that you guys have been doing some like merch items in general. I saw a bunch of them on sale relatively recently. I think they were on sale in Paris as well, IRL, but also people could buy online. Nap commented saying, I would love for the next Chimpers clothing line to come integrated with a digital version using IYK or some other player on the Polygon network, for example. Obviously, there's all kinds of challenges for companies that are not clothing companies to do merch anyway. So that's like one big step people need to do. What are some of the challenges when you are trying to kind of branch off into categories that you're not necessarily familiar with, like clothing? Have you considered taking it to the next step with that digital aspect? But maybe speak first to just like the challenges of branching out into new things when actually you built yourself up in one arena, now you're going over to others. Like, how have you found that process insight?
Yeah, I think like it's always, when you're exploring different avenues, it's always, it can initially be experimentation, but obviously yeah, it's about finding the right people with the right expertise to help and support you along the way. And obviously, the Chimpers team, the core team, we're not all experts in these different categories as you mentioned there, but we've had like the chance to connect with the people that are more so well versed in those areas. And yeah, there's always learnings that you take, when you're launching things. Like for example, like the dojo bundles, like perhaps we could have launched those individually as opposed to like bundled together. And little things like that we can take for the next launch to improve. And like Nap says there, the integration of the Web3 element of the platforms like IYK, and we've been in discussions with them as well for those sorts of things too. But yeah, the digital element is something like really important, and obviously applying that to the collectible cards also is something that we'll be doing. But yeah, I think even on like the Web2 side of things, like on the licensing realm, and obviously the growing of the brand again, like that's something that we've set the foundations for, but with the help of others like Playwell, who are helping us to strategize and for example, head into the licensing show in May, and getting booth space there and finding the best partners to speak to and have meetings with, and all of the R&D associated with that. I think yeah, it's about having the right people there to support us along the way who are competent and can help us throughout, really.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Thinking of finding ways to partner with people appropriately. Interesting stuff. One of the things I wanted to kind of move to now, it's probably been at least 8 to 10 weeks since we had the last conversation. The market's obviously in a very different place to when we were when we started Chimpreneurship entirely, which I think was last year. Or did we start this year? I can't remember. Yeah, it was last year, right? We did it from like September to December, season one. This one's been like January, February to March. So like when we started last year, I think people probably thought we were still in a bear market. It was just the signs of like, okay, things are moving up. As we got towards the end and we probably had our first conversation, I don't know if people were convinced back then that we're out of it. Now, I think we're in a very, very different place. People are far more convinced that we're out of it. I know from running, I do 2 shows a day. I do my morning one in the morning, then I do one with Thread Guy every afternoon after this show. And I can tell like the confidence level of people are making these huge wins. They're feeling good about themselves. They're coming in with hot takes. They think everyone else is stupid. They think that they're geniuses. Like, how has that affected you guys in the way that you're navigating business now? Have you noticed like a big difference when there's people you're trying to work with, that things are moving more smoothly, or just like what's that that shift, that gear change been for you guys, Joey?
There hasn't been any change.
Okay. Interesting.
It's all going on around you, and we are that busy. We're a lean team. We're very hands-on, very collaborative in all the different projects that we've got going on, and we're really busy all the time, and it's relentless, non-stop. So I think you have to be aware. You can't ignore everything. You've got to be aware. You can't keep up to date with anything. Everything. It's impossible. We have to be aware, but we have to filter it and just try to be attuned to what's going on and pick up the nuggets that you can and feed them into your strategy if you need to, and discuss those things and be aware. But in terms of how it affects us and who we're dealing with, probably no different with partners, etc. And ourselves, we just carry on the same. In terms of the community, I think the focus of the community, they're distracted, I'd say, from Chimpers somewhat because it's such an opportunity, or is it? I mean, yeah, there is a huge opportunity. Obviously, cryptos absolutely boomed. And then with all the meme coins, and obviously now you've got ordinals and Sol, etc. And ETH's been struggling, to be fair. So we've seen it's actually quieter in some terms. So
I see what you mean.
What we do is just do what we've always done, is try to keep attention by being present and trying to do fun, engaging activations, whether that's with ourselves or with people, like as recently Nifty Island, or the game that we had, the Dojo Clash game, where we got other communities involved, and we just continue to do that. But behind the scenes, and ourselves personally, we just carry on as normal.
Yeah, I think there is a lot of opportunities, like you say, and a lot going on around you. And yeah, you can't keep up with everything, but being attuned to the market is always important. And like even just most recently, like the airdrop meta, just for instance, like we had a conversation about that. We was, how can we bring, opportunities to chimpers? And we did have an opportunity with Second World Games, like they were, a partner that allowed us to participate in their like pre-sale, and also the Second World drop for their token. And things like are fleeting as well. Things quickly change, and as long as we keep Chimpers like a home and a hub that people love and enjoy, like although like times may be distracted, there's always still this dojo that people come back to. And we try and present as many opportunities as possible with what we have in our network for the Chimpers holders and the Alpha community, the Alpha forum, etc. So yeah, there's always something going on. But
yeah. To your point, I think I also saw, and I was thinking of using my Chimpers for this actually, because I don't know if I was eligible for anything else, but the Well token, which I believe is by Kungs, and that community, like that pre-sale is happening, I think right now, and I think we were eligible by having a Chimpers community.
Absolutely, yeah. So we are lucky with like I think there's so many different layers to Chimpers. There's like the artists, there's the creators, there's people who are building the personal brands, and then there's also people who are more in tune with the alpha and crypto. And we have Jax and a few other Chimpers holders that go out of their way to source out these different opportunities. And again, that was one of those where we had this opportunity presented to us, and Chimpers were keen to get involved in it. And as much as we can help to Chimpers to win and have these opportunities, it's always a bonus for us. So but I have to give credit to the alpha communities as well within Chimpers for that.
Yeah, shout out to them. You mentioned, I think, something very interesting that you said there, and I think everyone feels this deep down. I feel this deep down. I think a lot of other people feel this deep down. Be interested to hear how you manage it. Is you said these opportunities are very fleeting. So like, something could be the meta and everyone on the timeline could want you to pursue something for like 1 week. By the time you've pursued it, there's now something new to pursue, and then all of that time's been wasted. So Joey, like, how do you think about, opportunities that kind of peak and trough versus the main goal? Because I assume some of them are genuinely worthwhile. Like, we are obviously in a bull market. There are some more airdrop opportunities to participate in. Maybe some resources can get allocated to that type of thing, but obviously not to become so obsessed with it that it detracts from the main mission. So how do you manage that?
Well, we take up, like as Jacob mentioned there, we take opportunities as we can, and don't make it a key focus. And because things are fleeting, you don't necessarily know if they're gonna last. And so, like I said before, it's about being aware of what's there, but filtering it and discussing it and saying, well, what can we do? What should we do? And taking some opportunities without deviating too much from what we're doing, because we have got limited resources and we've got a lot of things we're working on and a lot to do. And we want to get things out there, because ultimately they're the things that will bring in revenue and also sustainable revenue and build the business sort of sustainably as well. And that's what we're aiming to do. So, yeah, it's a crazy space. It really is. It's absolutely wild. And it's not easy. I mean, you know, when you look at that, going back to the list of people that you've had on, it doesn't matter who you are as an individual or how big you are as a project at any one time. Things can change, or how small you are. Things can change rapidly and radically for anybody. And so we've got our principles and values and things that we think work for us and have been proven to be successful. And yeah, some people don't see the value proposition in what we're offering maybe right now, which is fine, but maybe it will become the meta again. So we operate through all the metas, and yeah.
Interesting. You mentioned like running a sustainable business. Before we look forward to kind of what else is in the pipeline, what else you're excited about, thinking forward a little bit, and then we'll get to the raffles. Like, how do you do that? Like, for the people wondering how you guys are operating now in arguably like a bull market, how do you make sure that you continue to operate in a responsible way? You've clearly done so in the previous bull market and been able to navigate the bear market. So I think that's obviously, like, you've obviously been responsible up to this point and done things sustainably, because a lot of people have folded, right, during that period of time. So now that we roll into the new thing, how do you balance like staying responsible versus maybe hitting a bit harder at bat because you know that there will be more people here right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like Joey said, we've always been quite frugal with like how we've operated, and perhaps, not taken some opportunities where, perhaps, it all depends on timing really. And yeah, we've always just maintained the principle of, only pursuing things that make sense. And it does leave missed opportunities on the table at some points in time, but I think we do make the most of what we have. And I think the main goal is really, for the past year, everything was more so kind of given away in some respects. But I think attaching revenue, making models to those sorts of things, like the platform that we're building, which is intended not just for Web3, but to bring in people from outside of that, and the potential of that, and then also pursuing things that will have the potential of doing so, like Hytopia and the Minecraft world. And again, that's somewhere that we can build outside of Web3 and potentially bring in value through that platform itself. And yeah, I think obviously a main part of Chimpers is the character brand and the brand building, and being able to pursue things with our licensing team that can bring in revenue, whilst maximizing the brand exposure and growing that is key. And we are still at the early stages of that, and by no means it's guaranteed, but we have a really great foundation of being able to take that step. And we have quite a few cool things coming that will be able to exemplify that as well. So yeah, but in terms of the continuing this year, we still maintain that slow and steady growth really over everything at the moment.
Yeah, I mean we are ambitious, and we believe that Chimpers is lightning in a bottle, and I suppose we could go faster, and Chimpers is, we've not dropped a second collection, we've not taken any VC money, we've not dropped a chimp token, but as a business, Chimpers, if you think about it, it's only been going since May 22 from nothing. it didn't exist.
Mm.
So, you know, these guys especially are in this for 10, 20, 30 years, you know, building Chimp as brand. So all options are open in the future. And but right now we're comfortable with, you know, being able to deliver the plans with the resources that we've got. But we've got so much up our sleeve, you know, should we need to.
I love it. I think that's really, it's really important where to zoom out. And I think one of the things that happens in this space is that, I don't know, I think the money comes too quickly in general. Like money comes too quickly for founders. It comes too quickly for traders. And oftentimes the faster it comes, like the faster it goes. That seems to be like my observation of how people operate in this space. But then the odd thing is it becomes like it becomes almost as if people think that's actually the standard for success, which is if you haven't raised this amount of money, and also raising the money is only half the thing, right? Like you raise the money in order to build the thing, but people talk about the raise as if that's the success. It's like, no, this is really just the start. Now you have to justify why you raised that much and actually go out to work and execute for your investors. So I think there's all kinds of perverse incentives sometimes in this space, and it's not always necessarily aligned. And what you always need to try to do is make sure that it's always aligned. So interesting conversation there. I think that's really helpful for people to hear.
Yeah, one thing that I'm just going to have to switch on. One thing that Chimpers is very, you could say, egalitarian in terms of really putting our holders absolutely central to everything we do, and to a fault, some people would say. And whilst you are still a team that's in full control of your own destiny, we can do that, and we would never want to lose that. And which you can do as you become sort of vested into by others. And so, yeah, we're taking things carefully, prudently, but I think, you know, people say that on the face of it, we deliver a lot, you know, in terms of the experiences, the community, the games, the partnerships, etc. Yeah.
Love it. we want to get to the raffles, and I think we're going to need a bit more time today to do those things. We've got some funny questions in the YouTube comments to ask about those in just a little bit. But before we get there, then just like looking forward, Insight, what are the things which you're most excited about moving forward? Like, what are the headline things that people can expect from Chimpers for the rest of 2024?
Yeah, I mean, every single month we're doing a regular AMA, and I post a full thread of the overview of that. And most recently, obviously, we had the Nifty Island launch, which was, short term. We've just had a really great contest for the past week. It was actually one of the most popular game islands on Nifty Island throughout that week, and
Nice.
we plan to keep growing there, and love what those guys are doing. That ties nicely to NFT New York, because we're heading there next week. Today we're putting out the details of the event, and it may or may not be with the people who I just formally was discussing. So we'll see when we put out the details later today. But yeah, we'll be there. So chimps who are heading over, anybody in general, we'll have a great time there. But yeah, Chimpers Nouns Delhi, that's throughout the month of April. We'll be releasing more details about that in the coming days as well, and how some of the chimp holders with burger traits can actually get a few nice benefits, even if they're not over in Australia, Melbourne. So that's going to be pretty awesome. And yeah, I think, we've got a few things coming as well on the gaming side. We are going to be integrating into Pixel's metaverse. We've got Master Chimpo ready for Dookie Dash. We're building our Hytopia world with our Minecraft server. We released a sneaky peeky on that a few days ago. So that's going to be super amazing when that comes to fruition. And obviously still in the works is the hyper casual mobile game that we're building with a partner in Web3, but it's going to be Web 2.5, and super addictive to bring in new people playing Chimpers and learning more about Chimpers. And the overarching last one is the collectible card platform that Joey was discussing, which coincides with the move to soft staking, and also a loyalty system that we're going to be introducing for people who sign up and participate on this collectible platform hub. So yeah, a lot of exciting things, but always just head over to my Twitter pinned thread for all of the details.
TLDR chimp.
Yeah, exactly that.
Love it.
And also continuing with Playwell, our licensing partners, and things that we've got in process with them as well. And also a special drop with somebody else that's going to come in May, June.
Yeah, around then. We've got a plush drop.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, so lots of interesting things on the digital side, on the physical side, trying to execute on that vision of taking the digital IP and bringing it into the physical world for 2024. We're definitely here for that. We'll love to monitor and to continue to learn about as things go. This is obviously the end of the season 2 series. We hope we'll be back again for season 3 with a whole new host of guests, and we'll be learning more about what Chimps are doing and what everyone else is doing as well, trying to navigate this fantastic bull market. But before we close out, guys, I know you know it is time for the raffle. We have 2 raffles today. First, Insight, if you want to share your screen, so this is what we're going to do for the people watching in on YouTube or X. Insight's going to share his screen, and we're going to do 2 raffles. The first raffle is for, well, actually there's 3 raffles. The first raffle is for full set collectors. So full set collectors have attended every single Chimpreneurship show. We've got a full list of those. I'll let Insight introduce those in a bit. So one of those people will get one Chimpers NFT. Then there'll be another raffle for someone who's just collected one of the POAPs at some point in time. So you're obviously more incentivized to attend all of the shows, collect all of the POAPs, because you've got more chance of getting Chimpers. So one NFT for full set holders of POAPs, another NFT for the someone who's just collected a POAP at some point in time. And then finally, we're going to get into the raffle for the arcade machine, the physical arcade machine that has been souped up after its appearance in the NFT Paris show. One question before we get there from Fots.eth, watching in on Twitter, I believe. How big is the arcade machine? I'm not sure that it will fit in my kitchen.
It sounds like they're very prepared to win.
Yeah, they've got a spot ready for it already.
Yeah,
is it going to fit?
Awesome.
Do you have the dimensions?
I can tell you, yeah, it's 59 centimeters wide, 61 centimeters deep, and 160 centimeters high.
Love it.
So I don't know what that is in inches.
Great context. Get your measuring tape out immediately if you win, or maybe even before you win, frankly, just to see whether it fits. But Insight, I'm going to throw to you here. Let's get into these giveaways. Going to share your screen, explain what you're seeing, and explain it to people.
Okay, it should be sharing right now. Hopefully people can see that. So I'm going to hit start draw for the full set POAP holders. There's 18 of you. So let's hit that, and fingers crossed it all goes well.
The special 18. I think we had more in season 1. People got to make sure they do this. This is a no-brainer.
Definitely.
The draw for Chimpreneurship Season 2 full set has been started. So Insight, what do you need to do? You need to click the open raffle page. Is that what you have to do?
Let's check. So 18, waiting for the next block to process. So it's starting soon. So hopefully it's live. So there's a live raffle page. Let's double check.
Can you start the second one in the meantime?
Good idea.
Let's see if we can start the second one as well.
So this is for anybody who collected any POAP, is it?
Mm-hmm. It is indeed.
So starting that raffle as well at the same time.
Okay.
Opening that raffle page.
Oh,
Has
here
it
we go. Something is happening for the
magic is happening?
one lucky Chimpers holder for the POAP. Let's see. It's drawing. The anticipation is building.
Where is it like drawing on a different loading page? What can you see?
I can see that it is found 7 tickets. It's moving on to different blocks, so I'm pretty sure it's processing them.
Interesting.
So do you want to start the third one?
The third one I think is slightly different, where we've got a wheel. But in the meantime, while we are doing that, Joey, let's see. What can we see there?
I think POAP, I didn't anticipate the POAP raffle to take. I think it's like on the blockchain processing by
So it's
the
literally on
sounds of
chain.
it. Yeah, okay, so it's finished. Here we go. So
Okay, here we go. We're ready.
We've got the wallet address.
Okay.
Let's see. I wonder if
mean,
there's an
getting the POAP itself's a bit of a job. Clicking all the numbers.
Okay, so we do have a winner there for one of them. We've got leobunster.eth.
Oh, Leo.
There we go. leobunster.eth. So they have won. I believe this is for the one POAP throughout any of the shows. So they were the lucky winner out of 162 people.
Congrats, Leo
congrats
Bunster.
to
Leo. I know Leo. Leo's a little nouner, I know, from that community as well. And I'm pretty sure they've been to multiple as well.
Excellent.
Awesome. Now let's double check if the full set has completed. I'm losing track.
There's a few people in the comments while you're waiting for it. Nap said they lost in season 1, lost in Paris. He must win this time.
I'll tell you what, Nap deserves it. He's always chimping every day.
For you, Nap, but there's some other people who seem to need.
Oh, okay. So this one has finished also, but I don't have an ENS. There's a wallet address here, which I'm not going to read out on the audience, but we'll find out exactly who that is. And
can you put it in the chat?
Yeah.
Let's try and do that. Let's do that after, because we're running short on time. Let's get to the final raffle insight. So we've got Leo Bunster was winner number 1. Second one, we've got a wallet address, which we will deal with maybe in Discord potentially. Final raffle for the arcade machine insight.
Wow.
Again, I think we've got wallet addresses for this only as well, which is a little bit annoying. However, it's still kind of interesting. So you've got this wheel here. What are we looking at here inside?
Yeah, so we've got a wheel of, I think it's around 418 holders of
who is entered into this? Just any chimp holder?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody that owns the Arcade Degen edition that Timp has put out on Magic Eden.
So the arcade edition. Cool.
Yes. So a part of that is this raffle. A part of it is also access to the first collectible card drop, and also Redacted, which we've also mentioned, which is in the works. But this is just, everybody who's got the edition. I'll spin the wheel now. It'll be wallet addresses only. So we'll have to figure out who it is after, but here we go.
Genesis arcade machine. Wow.
Genesis arcade machine.
This is it. Okay. There we go. We have the wallet address. So
that looks like me. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, maybe. Well,
right. So there, for the people watching in, you might actually recognize your own wallet there, because the wallet address came up on screen. So we'll make sure that the people who are the holders of that get their winning prizes. Congratulations to the winners. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. As always, it's been a fantastic season of Chimpreneurship. We'll be back for season 3. Final thoughts, insight, Joey, on the listeners, on the show, on how things are going.
Yeah, no, absolutely love Chimpreneurship. It's such a awesome space to be able to discuss all of these, entrepreneurs' journeys. And shout out to everybody who's tuned in, listened. We see the loyal listeners are growing and tuning in every week. And yeah, very much looking forward to season 3 and seeing who we can cook up for the guest list.
Yeah, I'd just echo the same thing. Awesome host, awesome guests, and awesome attendees. So great combination and great content, and we're proud and pleased to be a part of it.
Love it, guys. Thanks so much for making it happen. Very appreciative of you guys for doing everything that you do to make this such an important space and to make it such an enjoyable place to be. I think everyone in the crowd is appreciative of you guys. And thank you, everyone, for listening in. Shout out to the people listening in every single week. Shout out to the people just trying it out, thinking about whether you're wanting to join the community immediately, whether you're just testing it out, enjoying the conversation. Just know we are doing this every single Wednesday. We're going to take a few weeks off to plan season 3. Then we'll be back with another season. And shout out to Leo, who is in the crowd, must have realized that he is a winner. Leo, you need to reach out to the team ASAP. You just won yourself a Chimpers NFT. We'll close it there, guys. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you pretty soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.